Hi guys, welcome to the Stage Performance Podcast. Hi guys, welcome back to the Stage Performance Podcast. So today I got to sit down and talk to a really close friend and older sister figure, Dionne Hickey / Dionne Hill. Dionne is an amazing performer. She's been playing so much over the last few years and hosting a lot of big festivals like Edgefest. And it was really nice just to sit down and talk to her because a lot of the time, as much as we can be performing together, life is so fast and you're constantly traveling, you're constantly, playing. And so it was just nice to sit down and, just have a really nice conversation. Check it out. Dionne, thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me. I feel like we've finally got there. The amount of things you've asked me to do, and I've been like, yeah, I've got the kids, I can't do it. Finally got childcare, we've finally got there.
I know, and I appreciate you being here because you must be like really tired from hosting Edgefest over the weekend.
I am. I'm still recovering. I'm kind of getting there now. The school run on Monday was brutal though. Like I walked into the car park. And like I hadn't brushed my hair, like I had bags under my eyes. I felt like I was going to cry. I was like, nobody look at me.
Do you ever feel like that's really hard balancing performer life and like personal life?
Yeah, massively. Especially since I've had kids. Like I used to think that I was busy before I had kids, and now I'm like, what did I do? Because I really wasn't that busy.
Yeah.
Now I actually am. Like it is hard, especially like the early mornings during the week and the late nights at the weekends. That's what I struggle with the most. Is like I could never be like a firefighter that works night shifts and then early morning shifts. Like I even struggle with the gigging and the getting up for the school run.
Yeah, no, I don't feel like I've seen a morning in ages.
No.
So it must be really hard for you
Make the most of it,
to get
Matthew.
out.
Make the most of having no children and be able to lie in the morning. I miss those days.
Do you feel stressed if you're kind of doing like the school run in the morning? Like because now you have to get to the school and get to the places that you have to be.
Like it's weird because when like the wee one was at nursery, we were always late. Like every day we were late. But for some reason, since she started school, we're always early. And I'm like, well, why did I find it so hard to make it? Like it's the exact same thing.
Yeah, when it's someone else, like you kind of, and it's a weird psychology, isn't it? Where it's like if you need to do something for someone else, you push yourself.
Yeah.
But when it's for yourself, you're like, nah, I'll just.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree with that. Like, especially if you're a people pleaser, you're a people pleaser. You are a people pleaser. I'm a people pleaser. I'm getting less of a people pleaser as I get older. But yeah, 100%. I feel like you put more effort in when it's for someone else. Whereas if it's with you, like if it's for yourself, you're like, nah, I don't matter.
Yeah, no, it was funny actually because I was talking to David. I think you've met Mr. Karma Productions.
Yeah.
We were talking about like personality test things that he's done for like his business clients and stuff. And I don't know what it's called for the life of me, but there's 4 personality types, and I think it's driver, who's like the kind of results driven person, kind of not really an emotional person at all. Just I only care like get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, that kind of
that's not me.
Then you have like your creatives, which we kind of fall into a bit. Then you have like your analytical person, which is all about like numbers and data and facts, but like they don't do anything because of perfectionists. And then you have like the amiable, I think it was called in that test, and that's like the nice person.
Yeah, you're definitely the nice person.
I was raging when I got that result.
Don't be though. Like it makes you who you are. Like you are such a genuinely lovely, lovely guy. And I know sometimes, like when we're talking about the ladies and stuff, my dad's like,
I knew I was going to come on to this.
Can I swear? Will it be bleeped out?
Yeah, no, go for it.
I know my dad's sometimes like, you need to be a bastard, Matthew. But I'm like, don't be. Like, don't change who you are because you're a genuinely lovely, lovely person. And I think that goes a long way with you.
I don't know who I was talking. I don't think it was on a podcast at all, but we were talking, whoever it was, for the life of me, about just niceness, and there was someone who was kind of like jaded about the whole thing. I think they were talking about it in a kind of dating circumstance, and like being nice is nothing and it doesn't get you anywhere. But I disagree, right? See, even if like the argument can be made that like nice, like nice people finish last or whatever it is, I can kind of get that, but see, just in life, see if you're nice to the people, and it's not even nice, but just be genuine and you care about the people, and you're like, they will care about you. And I think if you're nice to people in work, so like I don't think you should ever become jaded. If you have bad experiences with things.
No, 100%. I always say that don't change a bit about you. You're genuinely like the loveliest guy. And everybody says that at gigs as well. Like the amount of people that I've met and you've already done a gig for them or something, and they're like, "Oh, he's such a lovely guy," and I'm like, "He is. He's so nice." And I don't think that's a bad thing at all.
Thanks, I'll bill you for therapy after this.
I'm your therapist.
Yeah,
I always feel like you're like my little brother figure.
No, I've always said that as well. You're like the older sister, which is why actually, when I was doing this whole podcast thing, I was adamant like I need to get you on early. Like you need to be one of the. And it's that I couldn't get you as the opening because the schedules just didn't line up.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that I actually got you in. I'm like I need you on in this.
Oh,
so.
Thank you. No, I'm glad to be here. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
it's nice just to have a good chat when it's not
that's
a gig.
That's really what it feels like.
Usually it's like when we're on our break from a girls' day or something.
Well, I think that's the thing. Like life is just so fast.
It is.
And I was talking to Leo. Leo Sachs, and we were just talking about the fact that in our fields, when things are so fast, like you have colleagues, and even if you have like kind of friends as such, you don't always see them because you're always moving in the fast lane, and we work such awkward hours.
100%. It can be quite a lonely job, I think.
Very.
Being a performer, because the friends that you make like in school and stuff. I don't know about you, but I've lost like a lot. I had loads of friends in school, and now I could honestly count on like one hand the amount of like close friends that I've got, because a lot of them tend to work during the week, and then you're working weekends, so you miss out on all that social side of things. And then the same with people in the industry. Like you've got your friends in the industry, but you very rarely actually see them because they're working when you're working.
Yeah, the trade. There's two trade-offs I can think of. Like not trade-off, the silver lining. That's what. I think the first thing is like. Life moves that fast that you don't get to dwell on it. Yeah. Like, so there's very rarely a moment where you're kind of sitting in your room staring at the ceiling, you know, because you're always moving. And I think if you really, I think there's that idea that the grass is always greener on the other side. Yeah. So even if, you know, you do kind of look back on those friends at school that you had and they're gone now, you think, well, there was probably a reason why you left in the first place. Yeah. You know, and
no, that is true.
You know, if you have that contentment doing what you do, then you couldn't have been that satisfied doing what they were doing.
No, that is very true. That is a really good way to look at it, actually.
Do you remember when you started doing all this music stuff? Like, were you in high school? Or?
So yeah, I was still at school when I started gigging. So I must have been like the back end of 17, early 18s when I kind of started. Because it was funny, like I always kind of performed. Like I used to dance when I was younger, and I wanted to be a dancer. I was never going to be a dancer. Like, I was good, but I wasn't that good. But when I was little, I just wanted to be a dancer. And, like, I used to do, like, wee theatre shows and stuff when I was younger, but I had no idea that I could sing. Like, not a clue. So I got bullied in primary school. This, if I ever go on it, this is my X Factor sob story. But I got picked on. So, like, if I was ever singing, like, the girls that picked on me used to, like, proper take the mickey out of me if I sung and tell me I was rubbish and stuff. So I fully believed that, you know, like, I'm trying to think, how old would I have been in primary 7? Like 11? As an 11-year-old.
Oldest 11, I think.
So at that age, I think you're very easily influenced. Like you're kind of that early puberty, very early teens. Like you are really easily influenced. So if there's girls telling me that I can't do something or I'm rubbish at something, like I believed them. So I never really sung like in front of anybody unless it was like in the chorus of a production or something. I would sing like in the house when no one was there, or like in the shower when no one was there. And then I got given a main part in my school show, and I had to sing a solo. And it was Disco Inferno, and I played Kathy. And looking back, I'm pretty sure my part was an ex-prostitute. I'm pretty sure that was my role. I had to sing Street Life. And I can remember thinking...
Isn't that quite dark for a primary school show?
Do you know something? It was actually such a good show because the tunes were so good. It was such a good show.
You're like, Miss Wood is prostitute me.
Yeah, what does that mean? Just like looking back at like the role I played and the songs I was singing, I was like, and like what I was told to wear. Don't get me wrong, like they weren't like, oh, you have to turn up looking like a prostitute. But it was like the knee-high, like 70s boots and like all glam and everything. I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I was meant to be an ex-prostitute back then. So everyone was like, can you sing? I was like, I don't think so. No. So honestly, like even looking back and thinking, how did I get on that stage and actually do that? Because I had no confidence. Like I wasn't a confident person, especially like in my ability to sing and stuff. But I got on, I sung the solo, I did the part, And everyone was like, oh my God, I didn't know you could sing. And I was like, neither did I. So that was like the first time that I actually found out that I had a good voice and that I could sing. And then from there I started doing like the school shows and stuff, but that was very much my comfort zone. Like I would go on, do a song, and then like come off the stage and have like a panic attack because I was so nervous. And now people always say to me now, like, oh, you're so confident, like it's just so natural. And I'm like, yeah, but that wasn't always the case. Like I've figured out how to get my stage persona now, if that makes sense. And then I ended up, my dad entered me into a competition called The Voice of Fife, right? So I was 17, right. Still really shy, didn't have much confidence in myself unless it was during a school show. And it was all people that were like on the circuit already, so like doing the pubs and clubs and stuff. And I can remember messaging my mum in the middle of it being like, why am I here? Like these people are all amazing and I'm just a daft wee girl. And I sung Jar of Hearts and Rolling in the Deep. And I ended up winning the competition and won £1,000. Don't know what I spent £1,000 on, probably like gig tickets at McDonald's. But and then it was my dad that was like, oh, like you could maybe do something, Melissa. Like you could maybe make a career from it. So I think my first ever gig was someone's first and second dance at a wedding. And then I done a wee gig in a pub in Kincardine. It was a shock to the system. It was wild, but it was amazing. And then I just kind of started doing like the odd gig at weekends and pubs and stuff. And that before I knew it, I was in it. And I was a singer. Yeah. And that was that.
That's so cool. One of the things that I'm kind of interested in, see when you were saying you got bullied when you were younger for doing this, was there a point when that eventually stopped? Like, or did that kind of continue from like high school?
So I actually, in high school, I loved high school. Like I had a really good experience in high school, to be fair. I know like some people at high schools, like I vocal coach kids and teens as well. Like I do like group vocal coaching classes, and I know a few of the girls like that are teenagers that are maybe not considered, I hate the word popular, but do you know what I mean? Like they're kind of frowned upon in a way because they're performers and stuff. And I'm like, that's literally just jealousy. But my high school at the time anyway wasn't really like that. Like it was seen as a good thing, I think, most of the time, as far as I'm aware, to be in the school shows and like do the performance side of things. So it did kind of end for me once I went to high school, luckily. And the girls that picked on me weren't in any of my classes or anything. But it was quite funny because for the girls' days, we like put competitions out to win tickets. And I can remember a couple of years ago, one of the girls that picked on me in primary school for singing entered the competition to win tickets to the girls' day. And I was like to my dad, go and let her win that. Go and rig the competition. Let her win it and I will out her on the mic. And he was like, no, you're not doing that. But I just thought, how the tables have turned.
Do you know what's so interesting? I remember my cousin, shout out to Andy if he's watching, gave me one of the best pieces of life advice ever. And it hit me like a thunder. Have you ever had those moments where like someone gives you advice and you're like, how did I not see that kind of thing before?
And a lot of the time it comes from you.
I don't think I've been that smart to say that. But it's so funny because even if that is the case and you've maybe said stuff to me, you don't remember the advice that you gave, but you remember the advice you got. Yeah, right? 100%. I think that's cool. And this is probably one of those cases, but he was talking about this kind of thing. And I remember at a point I was quite bitter just about everything and people, and, you know, and he was saying you're probably waiting for that moment where, you know, you do this massive thing and then they're all in the room and then you get to be like, you know,
yes,
I did it.
100%.
But it's like it doesn't happen that way. And then it's like what happens is like there's two ways you can look at life, right? You can do that, you can continue doing what you're doing and they will probably see it, but you will never be in the room to get that reaction. But if you do the thing for the right reasons because you like to do it, you know, like forgive the people or whatever it is, you know, and you end up going on to achieve the things that you wanted to do organically, you will get that reaction, you know, so that will take care of itself. The one minor disagreement that I have, or addition to that, is I feel that, like you, those people will bring the reaction to you. Whether that's they book you for an event or they come to your events or, you know, they reach out and say you're doing amazing now, like, and that's up to you how you respond to it then. But that's the thing. I think if you accept it, like the past is the past, and act as if, you know, I'm doing this now and they're out of my life, they do come back. And I think that's so cool, isn't it?
100%. And I don't forget. I hold a grudge. Like,
Same. Do you know?
I am that person.
I think that's a personality type, though,
Yeah,
isn't it?
100%.
It's like, you know, you're nice, but you kind of feel things, and then like you remember things that
Yeah.
other people would probably forget. Be like,
Definitely.
10
I
years,
don't forget.
I still remember that. You know?
Yeah, definitely. No, I'm the same.
I remember arguments I had in primary school.
You've still not got over it.
No?
You're thinking, I should have said this. I should have said that.
I know these people are like engaged now and have kids, and I'm like, yeah, but you still stole my rubber and you didn't give it back. You know, like,
Still stole my rubber.
I'm not happy with that. You
Still
know,
broke my
like,
gel
you
pen.
wrote your initials on the rubber that I bought. Like, you know,
Those are the things that matter in primary school, though. That is what you
but
really
it's
care
so
about.
funny, isn't it? That is your world at that
Yeah.
point in time. Like, you can go home and like have a proper, and you'll probably experience this now having kids. Like, where they'll come in and be like, "She called me stupid." I know I'm not as stupid.
Do you know
And they'll probably
something?
hold on to that for years. Like,
It's just reminded me of something Eiley told me last week, right? So, as you know, Eiley's a big Callum Beattie fan, right? And I've obviously
Yeah.
worked with Callum Beattie quite a few times. And like I think of as quite a good friend now. He's like BFF of my dad. But anyway,
yeah.
she said somebody wasn't very nice to her in school the other day, right? So she's primary one. She's just wee. She's just started. She came in, and I won't mention the wee girl's name, but let's just call her Agnes, right? For argument's sake.
Right.
Agnes wasn't very nice to me today, and I was like, oh really? I was like, what was she doing? I can't remember what she said that she was doing, but I was like, what did you say? She went, I'm going to tell my whole family on you, including my friend Callum Beattie. I thought that's hilarious. I was killing myself. I was like, on yourself,
And do you
darling.
feed into it? Are you like, oh my gosh? Or
I was
are you
just like, no way, is that what you said? But I was killing myself laughing.
oh, it's so
And I was
funny.
like, good for you, darling. You name drop.
Oh,
You do it.
yeah, it's so funny. Don't lose that, do you know what I mean?
I know. I hope she doesn't. I hope she doesn't lose that. She's so sassy. So sassy.
I think there is a skill in that as you get older, like being direct.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it's nice to see if your kids can do it at that age.
Yeah.
Because, like, my mum and my dad are polar opposites that way.
Mm-hmm.
My dad's quite kind of passive. He's like, oh, don't worry, kind of thing.
Yeah.
My mum is like grabbing salespeople by the throat and be like, okay, what you say? Do you know what I mean?
That's so funny.
We used to listen when we were, I don't think I've ever told my mum this, but I think me and Jamie would, like, if there was a sales call, we would
Used to
always
listen
like, sit at the edge of the stairs and just listen to her tear through these guys. It
That's
was
so funny.
Yeah. But I don't know where I was going with that. But
I've no idea how we even got on that subject, but
no,
that's the joys of an organic conversation.
it
But
literally is.
kids just don't overthink things like we do, though. Like, they'll just come out with stuff. Do you know what I mean? Whereas we overthink
I
what we
think
say a bit more.
there's less reason to overthink when you're younger, whereas when you're older, and especially with the whole social media thing,
Yeah.
it makes things so much worse.
100%.
This is actually, I wasn't going to ask this, right, but it just came to the top of my head, right? Like, see when you're doing all these gigs and, you know, you're in a circle and it's really busy. See the fact that everyone has their phones around you.
Yeah.
Does that make you nervous, or would you say, like, you've done it that long? Or did it ever, like, even if you're a veteran performer now, so it's not going to, like...
I don't really know. I've never actually thought about that. Like,
I
people
didn't
on
mean
their
to give
phones.
you an existential crisis.
I don't know. I wouldn't really say it. To be fair, if there was loads of people, if people weren't dancing and stuff and everyone was just sitting on their phone, it would 100% make me nervous because I would automatically think these guys aren't enjoying this. But I think if people are dancing and stuff, a lot of the time I'm focusing on them, like making sure they're having a good time, and the people that are sitting down around them, I don't block it out, but like I don't focus on them as much, so I don't really take as much notice of what they're doing. But people are always on their phones now, and I'm bad for it. Like, I'm constantly hooked to my phone, especially since I've started getting into the side of like doing some content creating and stuff, and even like the promotion side of things.
Yeah.
Like, for years, people just kind of found out about me through word of mouth, and I'd like put the odd Facebook post and stuff up. Whereas now, like, you're having to keep up with other people. Like, you're constantly having to post videos of yourself and post on Facebook and TikTok and Instagram, and I'm constantly on my phone. I'm constantly like, right, have I posted today? Have I done this today? Have I got videos lined up? And it kind of takes over a wee bit. Like, it's not good for your mental health.
No,
it affects
it's
mine
not.
massively. And sometimes I feel really guilty because I feel like I don't spend as much time with my kids because I'm so focused on, I need to post a video today.
Do you know, this has been a running theme through like everyone I've spoke to. And a lot of people have been saying that the busier the performer, the more guilty they feel about not being able to spend time with the people.
Yeah.
I
know you were talking about one of your guests that was in. I seen he posted on Facebook recently that he just had Like, he just hadn't spent any time with his family and stuff, and he's having to take a wee break, and I totally get that. Like,
that is
you've
one of
got
the things
to.
that surprised me a lot about Lee. I'm just going to name him, right?
You named him. He's a lovely guy.
I'm not saying anything bad. But I think what surprised me about him is just how much he cares about the people that are really close to him in his life. Because I think, like, when I first met him, he comes across as a very, you know, like, you have your show persona, and then you have off stage.
Yeah.
And I think, like, the more I've kind of got to know people in the industry, it's like you make the mistake of associating that character with them as a person.
100%. And I think that's one of the hardest things about the business is you're kind of expected to be like a machine. Like, you're expected to have this mask on all the time because our job is to make other people happy and keep other people entertained and stuff. You're just expected to be like that all the time. Like, people forget there's someone else behind that mask. Like, I say to my husband, if he's having a bad day and he goes to work, he can go to work and he can be crabby and he can have a bad day and he can not have to put on a face for anybody. Whereas we've got to go and put a face on and be like, oh yeah, like all up here all the time and be so happy and bubbly and yeah, let's go. And I think it can be hard to then come away from that. Like, and I think,
especially if you've like just had an argument or something like that,
yeah,
you've had 100%. Like some really bad news, and
or if you're like having a really bad mental health day, but you've still, the amount of times that like I've suffered with my mental health on and off like through most of my life, and there's been times that like I've had a gig booked in and I've been like, I've had a panic attack before I've left the house and I felt dreadful and I felt horrible. And don't get me wrong, 9 times out of 10 when I go and do the gig, it actually makes me feel better. Like, and I come away from it just thinking like, oh, I'm so glad I've done that. Like, I feel so good now compared to how I did at home. But it's hard to go from having that panic attack, having that bad day, to getting yourself, to composing yourself and getting yourself together to go out and pretend everything's fine and make everybody else happy. And I think that's why a lot of performers do suffer mental health. Like, you see it a lot, especially with comedians. Like, a lot of them do suffer with really bad mental health because I think you're so used to putting on this mask that it can be quite hard to open up. And when you are having a bad time, even at home and stuff, a lot of the time you're just so used to putting on this happy face that you just automatically do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think you raise a very valid point about the mask for comedians. But like the most I think we can relate to, say you're doing a residency somewhere, like, so you're doing Christmas party night somewhere, I don't know, just for a hypothetical, and you maybe get to know, the staff get to know you, not on a personal level, right? But say the comparison is that they'll all get to know each other, like organically. They can say, oh, I've heard a really bad shit. You come in and you're a character. And you have this kind of, and they might like that character kind of thing when you're on stage. But see if you kind of talk to them outside, not that like you immediately go, hi, I'm actually really struggling. Hi
guys, I was crying before I came here.
I should try that one thing.
Just so everybody knows.
No, but what I'm saying is that like they are like, oh, he's not actually that excited now, you know, because he's not like there's an expectation that you have to be exciting all the time if you're in the room. Like, you can't just talk to them like a normal person. Do you feel that way as well?
That wrecks my voice, that, by the way. Like, see that enthusiastic talking all the time, like that excitement.
That's why I just let you talk at gigs.
But it ruins my voice. Like, sometimes before a gig, if I'm speaking to somebody and you automatically go into that excitable like character. Like, I'm like that, but I'm like that at the school playground. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm quite a bubbly kind of, everybody always says I talk really fast, really loud, and really high pitched, right? So I'm automatically like that. But then sometimes I go, talk normally, talk lower, talk more chilled. You're straining your voice and you're just about to go on for a gig. So yeah, sometimes being that happy-go-lucky character all the time actually takes it out on my voice more than anything else.
Especially like if you feel like your social battery gets drained over time.
I feel like we're like onions. Do you know in Shrek how he's like, ogres are like onions?
With layers.
Performers are like onions.
Right.
Oh my God, I can't believe I'm comparing us to Shrek.
I'm going to clip
now.
this right now. You know?
Yeah, but we are. Like, you see the mask, you see the performer, the person that's absolutely buzzing all the time, and then you peel that back. And as you get deeper and deeper, there's actually a person under there that's really, really sensitive.
Do you think that can make it like harder for, like, not so much for each other, right, like in the business and stuff like that, but do you think it can be harder for like performers to develop organic relationships with other people because they associate you so much with a character That like when you have to talk to someone and say hi, that's not real. They're like, oh well, I don't really care now, you know?
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, because people assume they know you because of who you are on stage.
Yeah.
Whereas they don't see the ogre in you. They don't see the onion in you.
You can't blame them though, because in every other aspect of life, you know, you kind of like observe someone in social situations to get the character. This is the only exception to that field, you know, and you're never really going to be in a place unless you actively. I don't know. I just think it's one of these things that like. The onions thing is really making me think. You know?
All I can picture is Shrek and Donkey in my head right now. I'm going to watch that when I go home.
Are you a Shrek fan?
I love Shrek. Love Shrek. But they totally ruined it by making more. Like, 1 and 2 were amazing.
Yeah, I agree.
And then by the third one, I was just like, what are you doing? Like, stop it.
I had a very bitter experience with Shrek 4.
Why?
Because my favourite in the whole franchise is the gingerbread man. Like, see the wee gingerbread man, right? And this also taught me a very valuable lesson that Wikipedia isn't gospel. Okay, so I remember being so hyped for. I loved the big one as well. So the 2 gingerbread men.
Yeah,
right?
when he grows into like a giant gingerbread man.
Yeah, I loved that, and I was like sad that he didn't die. He was just I don't know what happened to him, right? But it says on Wikipedia he will reappear in Shrek Forever After, and I was like, I'm so pumped for this. He's coming back, you know. He wasn't in the trailers, and I'm like, that's cool. They're hiding him, right? And then the wee gingerbread man's a gladiator, so I was like, right, that's cool. 1, it didn't appear at all, the big one, and then second one, Puss in Boots eats the wee gingerbread man.
No,
right?
I don't think I've seen the number 4 one.
I was so gutted. It was like a massive slap in the face.
So is that it? Like the gingerbread man's just gone? Because Puss in Boots has ate him?
I think so. I think he appears in the end. But I was still super salty about it. Imagine being super hyped for like 2 characters.
DreamWorks has ruined your life.
One doesn't even appear, and the other one is just killed off.
It's
like
eaten
with
by a
like
cat.
2 minutes of screen time. You're like,
that's so funny.
Yeah, taught me never to believe Wikipedia though.
Do you know something though? That is true. Like, see, when I'm hosting festivals,
if I'm writing essays, I'm like, I know that Wikipedia's in fact
not using that. A lot of the time, if I do festivals, like I kind of do my research on a lot of the acts before I do it, and I'll like write it all down on a clipboard, so I've got something to say when I'm introducing them. And when I usually get it from Wikipedia, and sometimes I have to go, I maybe need to fact check this, because people can edit it though, can't they? So I'm probably like saying like all this stuff about like Ollie Murs or whoever, and none of it's true. Someone's just put it on Wikipedia.
I'm not going to name people, right? But there was this really funny story my modern studies teacher told me. This was years ago, over 10 years ago, about Wikipedia. I don't know how we got onto Wikipedia, right? But it's so funny. There was a celebrity I'm not going to name, but he really disliked, his pal really disliked this celebrity. And he would go on his Wikipedia page and make up a story of how he went to Africa to taunt the homeless and stuff. And like,
did it go appear on Wikipedia?
It did, but then Wikipedia kept changing it back to normal, obviously, and they kept re-editing it. And then the police went to his door to say, "You need to stop."
No.
It was so funny, but he just really didn't like
it. That is so funny. The police turned up at his door and be like, stop spreading fake news on Wikipedia.
So at least we know we can get to a point. I just wish the police were there to say stop spreading misinformation about the gingerbread man from Shrek 4.
That is so funny though. When you think about like, don't get me wrong, like I love the police. I think they're great. But there is some situations that like they don't really do too much about because of protocols and stuff. I love that there's some situations that people would think are really serious that the police don't do too much about. But if you edit something on Wikipedia that is wrong, the police are going to turn up at your door. They will be there.
And there's some things that I wish the police did more of, like if it was this. You're not a Star Wars fan, are you?
I've never seen Star Wars in my life.
The joke's not going to land. But I was going to say if there's certain films that are really bad that people are saying they're really good, I'm like, can we get the opinion police over here and just like
That's what Rotten Tomatoes is usually good for that though. I usually go by Rotten Tomatoes.
Audience score or critic score?
I don't actually know. Whatever pops up first on my screen.
I think I have this bias on it, so it's like, see if it's a film I really like, I'll be like, you know, the audience score that's all that matters, and then if it's a low audience score, yeah, but the critics love it, so it's fine.
So it's fine. It's all good. One of them likes it, and that is the main thing.
I do that all the time. Or if neither of them, I'll be like, it's all bots.
I wonder if we're on Wikipedia. I'll check.
You can check if you. I know I'm on Google.
My husband used to. So when I first met him, he used to Google my name
Yeah.
and find all the really bad photos of me and screenshot them all and send, like, make like a collage and send me it. I'd only known him for like 3 weeks.
That's
He'd
so
be, let me have a
funny.
look. Dionne Hickey.
I used to wind up some of the dancers' nitros from that. See if we did music videos together. You know, I think just because people are very like animated, like especially dancers, and one dancer in particular made really weird facial expressions. So I kept screenshotting it.
No, I'm not on Wikipedia. I'm on, what's that? Stage 32. I've never heard of Stage 32. Her charismatic personality suffuses the most. I can't read the rest of that.
Suffuses. Ooh.
I definitely didn't write that. Don't know who's wrote this, but they seem to like me, so that's the main thing.
Maybe it's a fan page.
Stage. Have you heard of stage32.com?
No.
Stage32.com. Get in touch. At least it's nice things, I suppose.
No, that's true. You were talking about festival. How was your experience actually hosting those festivals?
I am so lucky. Like, it's so. I just fell into it. Like, I still don't really know how I'm there, to be honest. I still don't really know how this is part of my job. Like, it amazes me every day. But like, it's opened up so many doors for me, and I've met so many like incredible people through them, like legends in the music industry, and it just amazes me that like that's part of my job. But I think from that as well, like I now do my own events and stuff because I realised that actually I've got like a kind of hosting personality as well. So it's not just the singing side of things.
Speaking.
And I ended up presenting on radio for a while as well. I took a back seat to that because just once I had kids, I was doing too much, and I was like, something had to give. But I would like to go back to it eventually. But that's all came off of hosting the festivals. It's quite funny how I got into it actually, because it was a festival called PKD in Fife, and it had been going for years. It's sadly they don't do it anymore. And I had messaged them. I must have been about 21, 22. And I messaged them being like, listen, what's the chance of me getting a wee spot, like to sing at the festival? And one of the organisers, Mark, messaged me back. I wasn't even expecting to get a spot on the festival, by the way. And he messaged me back saying, I've been watching you for a good few years now, and I think you're experienced enough and ready that you could compare the festival. Would you like to compare it? And I phoned my dad, and I was like, this guy's talking about comparing the festival. Like, what does he mean? Does he mean like hosting it? And my dad was like, what? Surely no. He was like, comparing it. He was like, are you sure that's what he said? And I was like, genuinely, here's the message. And then that's how I ended up hosting my first festival. I'd never done it in my life, had no idea what I was doing, completely winged it. Don't get me wrong, I still wing it now, most of the time. And it was like, so I went on, so I usually go on and like I'll sing a couple of songs in between the acts, like to keep the crowd going if there's time between the changeover. Was that my phone?
No,
Sorry.
it was...
Was it you? So like I'll sing a few songs between the changeover and then like introduce the act on stage, like get the crowd kind of hyped up. So I like to call myself a singing host. But anyway, Atomic Kitten were headlining that year, right? So first festival, Atomic Kitten were headlining. And I was on the stage, I was ready to introduce them on, looked to the side of the stage, and the stage manager was like, keep going. And I was like, all right, okay. So spoke some more, chatted away to the crowd and stuff, looked over again, keep going. It's like, we're not ready. And by this point, it had been a good like 5 minutes, and I was like, I have nothing left to say. Like, I can speak for Scotland, but I have nothing left to say.
See, we'll have a moment in silence now.
Honestly, and my heart was like that the whole time, like, oh my God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? So I ended up getting the crowd to sing, what's the one? Close your eyes, give me your hand, darling. What's that one called? Eternal Flame.
Oh, right.
So I ended up getting the crowd to sing Eternal Flame, like with no music. But I started at like, close your eyes, give me your hand, darling. Then I passed the mic over, like all the crowd were singing it back to me. So we got to like the end of the chorus, and the stage manager was like, thank gosh. So then I was like, everyone put your hands together for the unbelievable Atomic Kitten. And I went backstage where Atomic Kitten were standing, and it turns out Lizzie's microphone, there was an issue with it. So that's why they were like, keep going, like, we're not ready.
Oh, right.
And they turned to me and went, well done, we'd have crumbled. And I was like, I don't know how I'm still alive. Oh my God, what just happened? But it was actually quite good that that happened on my first ever festival, because it proved to me that I could do it. I was like, that's like worst case scenario, having to try and stall and wing it for like 6-7 minutes. So I was like, if I can do that in my first ever festival, like I can do this again. And it was a big kind of turning point in terms of like my self-belief. I was like, I can do this. Like, I can host festivals. I can do this.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. still absolutely terrified every time I do it. I hosted Edgefest last weekend and I was terrified like the whole run up to it.
Yeah, like how is that like? Because I remember when we spoke in the past, you've said like when you just started, you were ultra nervous and you didn't talk. What was the process like from kind of building up your confidence, even for things like the girls' days and stuff like that?
So I think I'll just come to experience, and I think obviously we were talking earlier about like this like persona that you go into, and it took me a good while to build up that persona to the point that I can go, right, I'm about to go on stage, boom, like into performance mode. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think I can be so nervous backstage, but I can go on and it's like the mask goes on and it's just like, here I am. Like the nerves are all gone. And I think I don't tend to get as nervous now with like, say, like girls' days and stuff because I'm so used to doing them. I still get quite nervous with weddings because it's the pressure of it. It's not so much the singing.
Yeah.
It's the pressure of this is someone's wedding day. Like I need to be good. They need to enjoy this.
It's nice
I
that
need
you
to
have
get
that
the party
level
going.
of care for it though.
100%. I think it was actually you that said to me before, nerves are good because it shows that you care about it. Whereas
I was just
as soon
about
as you
to say
don't
that
get
there.
nervous, yeah, it's like you become almost like robotic. Like the love for it isn't there anymore if you don't get nervous because you don't really care.
I think there's two things that can lead to complacency. It's like see overly nervous and overly apathetic.
Yeah.
So like you want to try and get as close to the middle as possible.
Yeah, something like
so
a
that-
happy medium.
Yeah.
It's the same with festivals as well. Like I think because it's not my show, like it's not my girls' day. People aren't there to see me. They're there to see. Well, at the weekend it was Ollie Murs and Travis, and all these other fabulous acts. So it's like, it's not my show. It's not me. People aren't there to see me, and I feel like that's coming across as cocky. That's not what
No,
I mean.
I understand.
It's the pressure of this is someone else's event. I am not the main character in this, so I need to make sure I am on point. I can't just do what I want. I need to make sure that the people that have hired me and that are organising this and that those headline acts are happy with what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean? And
It's good that you have that approach to it because a lot of people would have main character syndrome and every single episode is about them kind of thing.
No, at those festivals it is absolutely not about me. Like if I go even a minute over the time that the next act's supposed to be on, Jimmy, the stage manager, will have my head. I learned that the hard way the first year. I went like 30 seconds, so I was singing Superstar, and I think it was before Pete and Diesel came on, and it was the first time I'd hosted Edgefest. All the other festivals I'd kind of hosted just kind of let me do what I want, but they were, and rightly so, like that is how it should be. It should be bang on timings. It should be very strict because you don't want to take time away from the headline act, you know what I mean? But I was like 30 seconds, which to me 30 seconds didn't seem like a lot. Still going on this song, 30 seconds over when Pete and Diesel were due to be on the stage. And Jimmy, the stage manager, came on and like started dragging me off the stage.
Wow.
So I learnt the hard way the first time, but we get on really well now and he's an amazing stage manager. Like he's the best of the best. Like he's the best in the business. So the last couple of years, like we do get on well, and I know how he works now and he knows how I work. So
it's funny when you meet people like that because you can imagine like in a film context where like you have an argument, you're like, yeah, that's one of my best friends now. You know, like,
that's so true. But it's that pressure of like making sure the timings are all right. That if I need to stall, I'm able to come up with something to stall until the act's ready. But also, like I'm always checking my wee Fitbit. I've always got my Fitbit on.
So the
like,
set has to be timed to perfection then?
Yes, more or less. So I have to be off bang on when the act is due to start.
So what do you do in those instances where it's just an awkward time of like 3 minutes or something like that? Do you just cut the song and talk?
Yeah. So if there is it's a lot of the time there's not a chance to do a song. Usually earlier on in the day, and if there's not a big band. So if there's a big band, obviously there's loads of different line checks. It's a big setup. So a lot of the time, it'll be like 2 minutes before they're due to go on, and I'll just go on. I'll get the crowd buzzing for them. I'll just do some chatting. But if there is some time to do a song, even if there's like 4 minutes, I'll go, right, I'm going to start doing a song. I'll start singing the song and then I'll turn to usually my dad and I'll go, and he'll just like fade the track out and then I'll start talking and getting ready to introduce them. So I'm constantly like slyly like looking at my Fitbit to check the time. But yeah, it's that whole pressure of professionalism and making sure that I'm a perfectionist, so I'm making sure that everything is perfect for these people that have hired me in. And that's the side of it that makes me nervous. It's not...
It would make anyone nervous, because at that point it's not even the performance you're nervous for.
Yeah, it's the pressure of
someone coming on and dragging you off stage.
Learned it the hard way the first time. Won't make that mistake again.
No, it is. Do you have like kind of pre-made speeches or something like that? So like if there's a certain like 2 minutes, do you be like, if you guys have a dream, go do it.
Usually if I'm like, I've got like 2 minutes, I've ran out of things to say, I'm like, right, let's get a chant. Okay. But like I will have like kind of cues as such that I'll try and like memorise before I go on to introduce an act. So like I try not to take my clipboard on when I'm introducing an act on stage. So I'll have like bullet points of like, Ollie Murs has sold this many singles, you know him from this song.
Have you ever got it wrong and then the artist has pulled you up for it?
No, but it's probably going to happen at some point.
I would definitely do that.
Don't think I got it wrong anyway. But it was quite funny because I'm like, I just don't get, like, see all like the football like songs and rivalry and like English towns rivalry and stuff. So last year there was a band from Liverpool, quite a big band. I won't name them. I probably could name them, but I'm not going to anyway. There was a big band from Liverpool going on. And I went on just thinking, right, I've not got time to sing a full song on my backing track. How am I going to get the crowd hyped up? Oasis had just announced that they were doing a tour. So I was like, right, I'm going to go on and start singing a wee bit of an Oasis song and just get them all like chant it back to me. Mm-hmm. Not realising that there's apparently a massive rivalry between Manchester and Liverpool. So apparently I went on and started singing this Oasis song. Oh. And the band like looked at each other and were like... And I came off and Jimmy the stage manager, was like, why did you sing Oasis? And my dad, he was like, why would you sing Oasis? I was like, well, I don't know. Because they're a big band. They're the same kind of genre. I thought it'll get the crowd singing along. It was a very minor thing. Like, it didn't actually cause any issues, but it was just
that can be really hard to you if, like, you have a whole room of people saying, oh, play this Celtic song. Yeah. And then the venue are like, no. Mm-hmm. I've got in trouble once with it. Not majorly, but there's been times where I didn't know it was a Celtic song.
Yeah, and I think if you're not massively into football, how are you going to know?
I think it's a common mistake that kind of musicians can make because you don't tend to be into football.
And it's so annoying because there's so many really good songs. I've seen people, I don't think I've ever been at a venue where they've had like a list of songs that I'm not allowed to sing, but I've seen people posting photos of venues that have like this big poster for the singers being like, don't sing this song, this song, this song, this song. And they're all football songs. Yeah. And I'm like, but they are all really, really good songs.
Like, see, Just Can't Get Enough. I'm gutted that that's a football song.
See, I wouldn't have known that was a football song.
No, that's a Celtic song.
The only ones that I don't sing, I still sing a lot of them. So I'll still sing like, I'm Feeling It. I'm feeling it.
Is that a football song?
Apparently it's a Rangers song. I don't know.
I didn't know that.
Sweet Caroline. I'll still sing that.
I knew that was Rangers.
The one that I don't, or the two that I don't sing, because I feel like you're basically just not allowed to sing them, is Simply the Best and Penny Arcade. Those are the two that I will not sing. And I don't even have them in my set, and it's annoying because Simply the Best is such a good song to sing. Like,
I had an experience with Simply the Best a few weeks ago, where they were begging for it. I spoke to the venue, and there was like a whole board meeting to get permission, and eventually they did it, and it had to be like, because there was a function in the other room, and so they says, right, if you do it, but we'll shut the door so that they don't hear it, and you're like, oh my god,
it's not safe. And I get it, like, you don't want to cause trouble, like you don't want there being fights or anything breaking out, but it's just gutting that you have to worry about fights and stuff breaking down because of a song that doesn't actually have, it's not got offensive lyrics in it. I think that's part of the problem, is that some football teams will change the lyrics to make them offensive.
Yeah. And well, the prime example is that Sweet Caroline, where they say F the Pope, right? That I remember it was in the Eagle Inn. There was someone, and I felt sorry for this musician, right, because he did it, and one of his pals said. And then there was someone that came up and was squaring up to them, and the singer was like, what have I done? And his pals was chickened out. So it looked like the musician had said it. Yeah. But it wasn't him.
The thing is, see if I'm singing something and I hear anybody doing that, I'll pull them up about it straight away, and I'll be like, cut it out, stop it, this is not a football song. But one of my brides wanted her first dance to be like a really nice, it was a lovely version, it was like a slow acoustic version of Simply the Best. And the venue told her she wasn't allowed it. Now, in my opinion, the bride's the boss. In my opinion, if the bride wants a song, especially for like a first dance, it's something meaningful to you. Do you know what I mean? Like you're picking something that's meaningful to you and your partner, your wife, your husband, whatever.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, the bride and groom are the boss. Like they should have been allowed to have that because it was personal to them. There was a reason that they wanted it. And it's not like a pub where you don't know who the clientele's going to be. Like they know all their guests. Do you know what I mean? But they didn't do it. The venue wouldn't let them. So I think they changed it to my DJ done a mix of like a slow version of Still Into You by Paramore into like the dance version.
Yeah.
And it went amazing. Like it was such a good idea. But it's just sad and it's annoying because I feel like there's so many good songs that...
Yeah, well, do you know, it's surprising because even not on a football related note, I think like musically, musicians and DJs and bands can be quite dismissive of what and specifically in weddings, what the couple wants.
Yeah.
And I understand that to a degree because, you know, obviously we've all done so many of these and we know what works.
Yep.
But sometimes it's hidden gems, right? And like, see, a good example of this was my cousin's wedding last week. I don't know when this is going to be released, but I was at my cousin's wedding and she asked for a song from the 1975. I think it was that one, If You're Too Shy.
I love that. So
Right.
I love the 1975.
Well, see, the thing is, initially I think the DJ was kind of dismissive of it. It's like, no, that doesn't work kind of thing. We know what works kind of thing. And I get that to a degree. But one thing that I don't think they take into account is, see, when you get, if you were to play that song in a lot of places, people might not dance. Yeah. But see if if a song holds sentimental value. Yeah. You know, and we played that song. I played it, and it went down amazingly.
Yeah, 100%. I think there's a happy medium with that as well. Like, if people come, so I've had a few brides that say, "Can I see a set list?" or "Can I see your set list?" And I'm very much like, I can give you an example set list, but my set list will change as the night goes on because I think not everybody does that. But I think the more experienced they are and the more professional you are, you're able to gauge a crowd and go, "That one went down really well. I'm going to put another couple of that style of song in." Or like if there's one that didn't go down too well, I've got a couple more like that in the set. I'm going to take them out the now, maybe put them back in later but put something else in that you think is going to work. So I'm very much like, I change my set the whole way throughout, and I think there's a happy medium between, we know what we're doing, we don't want to play a song that's going to kill the night, but see like a couple of suggestions, like if something's, like you said, if something's sentimental. We had a wedding at the weekend as well. Actually, I was hosting on the Saturday during the day, and then I had to run back up to Dunfermline, do a wedding, and go back down to Jedburgh on the Sunday to host the rest of the festival.
Oh my gosh.
So it was wild. But at the wedding, like the bride sent me like a list of songs, and she was like, "You don't have to play all these." She's like, "You don't have to do all these, but these are a couple that like these are a few that we like that we think might go down well." And I said to her, I was like, "I can tell you now, we're not going to do all of them because it was quite a big list." I was like, "But we will pick a few that, if these are sentimental to you, we will pick a few and we'll put them in." And they did. They went down really well. I'm trying to think of a few examples. I'm having a brain blank. I can't think of any examples. But it's like you said, if it's something that's sentimental to like them and their friends, and they know that they're going to get up and dance, then put it in.
Put it on.
If it's like if there's like a list of like James Blunt songs, you're probably not going to put all those James Blunt songs into the set list. But I think it's finding that happy medium of being able to tailor sets to like the vibe and the style of music and stuff that your couple or whoever you're doing the party for want, but also them trusting you that you know what you're doing and that you are going to make it the best night and you know what songs are going to work, kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think for my wedding at some point, I don't think the band or the DJ is going to want to play a whole set list of Sonic the Hedgehog music, you know, so.
Sonic the Hedgehog music. Well, it's the same, like, at my wedding, well, you and Gary done my wedding, so I was very much like, yous were guests anyway, like, yous were invited. You've both done so much more than I had expected you to do. Like, you pretty much played just, like, the whole day and whole night. And same with Gary, I was like, listen, just get a really good playlist. I was like, just put it on. But I was so, like, I didn't trust anybody else to do the job the way that I know that we do it. Yeah. So I was like, we're just going to do it ourselves. So obviously I got up on the mic, was singing and everything, but like a lot of places, if I'm out on a night out, I always request Dr. Jones by Aqua, and 9 times out of 10, the DJ is like, absolutely not, I'm not playing that. But at our wedding, I was like to Gary, you need to play Dr. Jones by Aqua. And he did. And it was amazing, and I loved it, and it was the best thing ever, and everybody was dancing, having a great time. But if he'd played too many like that, if I came to him with just like a list of like, I want this, this, I'd have probably killed the night. I would have, because I know myself.
But you would have had fun.
I would have had fun.
Singular.
I'd have had a ball, but everybody else would have been sat down like, ugh. And our wedding was just like, it was just a massive party, wasn't it? Like, my wedding was amazing. So fun. Everybody said, like, that's the best wedding we've ever been to. And it was because I know, as much as I've got a very mixed music taste with what songs I like, but I know a lot of them wouldn't go down well at a wedding. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? So it's getting the odd one in there, but also just trusting you guys to do what you do.
You could also be tactical about it, though, and if you really want to hear those songs and you're not bothered about them dancing, you could say play it during the buffet.
Yes. I actually said that to Gary, our DJ. When was it the weekend there? Someone had requested a song, and I was like, play it at the end of the buffet, or like when everyone's still a bit mellow, or when we're just going into the buffet.
Yeah.
And again, like, I don't usually give people my microphone. I don't usually let people sing along. Well, it depends. I let people sing along, like I'll maybe go like that, but I wouldn't full on give them the microphone and let them do a full song. But because I knew the couple whose wedding I was doing, one of their friends was like, Dionne, can I sing Sweet Caroline with you? And usually I would be like point blank, no, because this could totally kill the night. Because I knew him and I knew the couple and I knew their friends, I was like, this is going to go down amazing. It's going to be hilarious and everyone's going to love it. So I'll let them do it, kind of thing. But it's very much, I think, people do put our trust in us, and they do a lot of the time just have to trust us that we know what we're doing and we're going to bring the best vibes by the music that we play. Do you know what I mean?
Is it like, see, with that kind of perspective, does that influence your perspective when you're planning the ladies' days, the girls' days that you do?
Kind of, yeah. So, like, my dad does most of the planning for them. Like, I kind of get the credit, but I don't really do much, to be honest. I just go and chat some rubbish and sing. Shout out to Joe Hickey, my manager. But the dadager, we like to call him the dadager. But he kind of came up with the girls' day out idea when, so it was after, like, I'd started hosting festivals and stuff. And he wanted me to kind of get more into that, like putting on my own events where I could sing and host, and just a bit more enjoyable than singing in a tiny wee room and having to take all my equipment and stuff along. Yeah. So he kind of came up with the idea, and he noticed like a gap in the market for sort of daytime entertainment, sort of targeted towards women. And it's the whole point was just something that women could enjoy, where the entertainment's kind of targeted towards them, but where they feel safe, that they can enjoy a good day out, have a drink with their pals, let their hair down and know that they're going to be well looked after and feel comfortable and feel safe. Yeah. And it's the same, like we have a lot of the LGBT community coming along to the girls' days out, because I feel like it's the same morals, you know, they're well looked after, they don't have to worry about prejudice, I can't say that word, prejudice, little arseholes that you might get in pubs and stuff. Just a good day to like let your hair down and enjoy yourself, and then you can still be in your bed by 9 o'clock and wake up nice and fresh for the kids in the morning if you have them. So that was kind of where it came from. And I think, obviously, we get different entertainers and different acts in, but it's the same, like, we get so many requests throughout the day from the ladies, and we're just like, just trust us. Some of the songs were like, yep, that wasn't in the set, but yes, that song will go down well, I'll put it in. Yeah. And some of them were like, listen, that's just not going to work. Like, no, it's not happening. Yeah,
especially if you get asked for slow songs. You're like, did you see what, have you been to one of these before?
Have you been here before? This is not a slow event. This is not a mellow event.
When did it actually start? Was it about 2019, 2020, or was it before that?
So it was before 2020, because I can remember everybody was gutted because there was like no.
The fact that it survived the pandemic.
Oh, it's amazing. I still can't believe that like we're still selling out shows. Selling out shows like 8 years later, whatever. Was your first gig a Girls' Day Out?
It wasn't far off it. I think I'd done some open mic nights with this. I'd done a lot of piano stuff, but I really hadn't done many saxophone gigs. It probably was. I remember that day coming in, and it was like a whole other world.
You're like, oh my goodness, these women are mental.
Well, but the lights were so cool, and that might sound really weird, right? But like the lighting was so professional. I'm like, I've never seen this before. It's a stage, there's green rooms, and I I remember like the dancers and like kind of seeing dancers for the first time and the buff bodybuilder. I felt like a kind of 12-year-old that just walked into the wrong room, you know.
Look at you now. Look at you now.
Oh, it's mental. Yeah, but it's funny that you can't predict the trajectory of life, you know, because I had no idea we'd have become so close, you know, after that.
100%. Because I think my dad seen you, it was on Facebook. I think he'd seen you on Facebook.
It was an open
and he
mic
was like,
night,
was that what it was? And he was like, that wee guy's brilliant. He's like, we need to get him at Girls' Day. And I'm pretty sure he paid you like peanuts for your first gig or something. But because it was like the first, obviously, we pay more now. But like I could just remember my dad being like, that wee man's great. Like he always calls you that wee man. That wee man's great.
That, you know.
That wee man's great.
See, weirdly, right, we'll come back to that, right? But
sorry, I'm just checking the time because I promised my dad I'd be home for 1 o'clock. He's the wee
fair,
man.
Don't worry. I'll check time. Right, okay.
We're all good.
What was I going to say there? That's this. I think wee man, I find that better than getting called big man.
Big man.
I don't like that.
It's so funny. I had a friend in school, and we were really, really close. She has Thai, so she lives in Thailand now. She moved away like 12 years ago or something now. I still have dreams about her. It's very sad. But I used to call her wee man and she used to call me big man, and I've no idea where it came from. But I think it was because she was really tall.
Yeah.
And I was so much smaller than her, so she used to call me big man and I used to call her wee man.
Yeah. No, I always hate big man.
I like big man.
It's weird. I don't like. I see someone calls me wee man. I'm like, I don't mind that. I don't mind that. Yeah.
And I know what you mean. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but I know what you mean.
Yeah. Maybe it's just because it's true. Like, stop being factually incorrect. You know, there's no, but those days were amazing, and it's funny because like I think the next time that we met after this was. You usually do this kind of thing at the start, don't you? We're kind of doing it at the end.
You can edit, it's fine.
No, it's fine. It was what's it called? We went busking as well.
Oh yeah,
was
remember
that the second time?
Was that only the second time?
I don't know. I remember I spoke to your dad a lot more than you at the time. I think he was adamant he had this vision. Yeah. And it's kind of come to fruition now. But during lockdown and during the whole COVID thing, like, you were tested.
Oh,
Everyone
massively.
was tested.
I can remember before COVID, I'd kind of got to the point. So I was still doing a lot of like the pubs and clubs before COVID and stuff. I was doing some events like parties and weddings and stuff, but not as much as I do now. Like, I'd say like 9 out of 10 of my gigs now are events and parties and weddings and stuff. Like, I do very few like kind of pub gigs and stuff. But before it was like, and the pub gigs are the graft. Like, those are the graft because those are the ones that you've got. Like, a lot of the events and stuff I do now, like, I've got my DJ, so he does all the setup and everything. But, you know, humping all that gear and stuff about, like, taking an hour to set up, an hour to pack down, like, you don't know how many people are going to be there. The pub gigs and the club gigs are a graft. And I got to the point that I wasn't getting fed up of it, but I was losing the love for it a bit. Like, it did very much feel like a job rather than, like something that I love that I get to do for work kind of thing that I get paid for. It was very much, I'm going to work.
You hear about wedding bands and stuff a lot that have to travel to like Inverness and stuff. And see, if I had to travel like 2-3 hours a gig, I just wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Right, like,
you're very much like, I like the ones on my doorstep. We actually had an inquiry in for one. I don't know if she's going to go for it though. I've not actually told you about it yet. I think it's for like Aberdeenshire, and I was like, it's Matthew. Is that going to be too far for Matthew? But I think, see, as long as you price it right, see, as long as you're getting your money's worth,
I get that.
Then it's worth it.
I think the thing is I think it's a whole. I'm quite lucky in this position because I think most musicians have to do that. Whereas because of how the whole Ibiza sax scene has just become so popular and so big, I've never had to do it. Yeah. And so I think you can kind of get a bit spoiled that way because I'm like, well, if I've got all these gigs here, why would I go elsewhere? There are people that just really love traveling, but it's not for me. Like, I hate that.
You'd rather take less money and do it on your doorstep. Wouldn't you?
Yeah. But it's
because I'm like, give me the money.
It's not even always that much more.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a case of if I do 2 or 3 like local, and it stops me going to like.
No, you do have to price them right. And
that being said, right, Newcastle was really fun. See if that was an every Monday thing, I would probably do that.
I think it's different. See, when you've got like a team of you. If you're travelling that far, like I used to do Aberdeen loads when I was younger, and it was just me and my dad, and we used to drive 3 hours up for £200, do 40 minutes, and then drive back 3 hours. Like, that's hard. Like, that's a graft. Whereas, see if you've priced it right for your travel and the time that it's taken you and you're going with like a team of you, it's a bit
Yeah.
more fun. Do you know what I mean? It's more enjoyable.
Well, I had a lot of fun on the Newcastle one.
Yeah, that was
but
good.
I think most of the time it is, like, see, when you talk about lonely and solitary, that's probably when you feel it when you're driving those really long
Yeah.
distances. And maybe that's part of the reason I don't like
Yeah.
going, because you're just, hey,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
for like ages, and I'm like, I just don't want to do that. It's just
Yeah, no, I know what you
depressing.
mean.
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I really enjoy like having like we do a lot of gigs together. Obviously, like Gary or DJ and stuff. Like I love having that team because for so many years it was just me. A lot of the time my dad was there as well, but it was just very lonely. Like obviously you had your punters, but it's all the behind the scenes stuff. Like it's good to have people to like keep the energy high. Do you know what I mean? Like to keep your momentum. That's what I'm looking for. Keep the momentum high.
They also do say success is lonely at the top or something like that. And you do feel that, and I think it's something that totally like people can relate to if you're going on that journey, or if you're there and you found it. But like I just always ask myself, like I think sometimes when you do feel lonely, you can have a really what's the kind of halo effect of friendship, a very naive outlook, right? Because I think a lot of friendships aren't perfect. People can really annoy you. You can probably really annoy them, and it's
I know
like,
I annoy Gary.
Well, that's the thing, and it's like sometimes it's like, well, what would you rather? Like those moments that might occur like 20% of the time, I put up with the other 80% of all the kind of drama and stuff like that. And I think especially in a working environment, it's just better to do it yourself. But I think like when you're on that path, you eventually do meet people.
Yeah, 100%. And I always said like I wouldn't be in a proper band because it's more like relying on other people. Whereas I think our dynamic, like what we've got, is good because it's like
we're self-sufficient, but we can come together.
Yeah, exactly what you just said. Like we can come together, kind of thing. It's not like this is our band. Like we all have to, like, have the same diary and everything. Like we can do stuff ourselves as well, but we also know that we can rely on each other. Do you know what I mean? Like I know you're not going to bail last minute. I know Gary's not going to bail last minute. So it works well, I think. I feel like we've totally gone off on a tangent, but we're talking about COVID.
Do you know what? I mean, just before, because I was looking at the time, we will have to wrap up in the next couple of minutes.
I knew this was going to happen though, because I was like,
talk about anything.
You sent me all these questions. You're like, this is what I'm going to ask you. And I was like, we're probably going to speak about like 2 of them, and we're just going to talk and talk and talk and talk.
But
and talk.
it's funny because, like, see, that this is kind of almost. I think this is probably one of the last ones I've recorded, even if it's not the last thing I release. And I've had that moment where, like, I've just accepted that if it flows, it flows. If you're talking about something I don't want to be, what is your favourite type of event? Do you know? And it's like, well, that came out of nowhere. Do you know what I mean?
It's good
like,
when you can just have like an organic conversation with somebody. I think that's
it's good
that's
for the soul
important
anyway.
for this kind of thing.
Totally. But I will ask you this question.
Okay.
Where can people find you?
So you can find me everywhere. No, you can find me on. So my TikTok is Dionne Hickey singer music. I really need to keep them the same name for everything. So my music page on Facebook is Dionne Hickey Music. My Instagram's just Dionne Hickey. I think TikTok's Dionne Hickey singer. It might just be Dionne Hickey. It might be Dionne Hickey Music. It's one of those.
Right.
The one thing that today has taught me is that I need to try and keep the naming on my social media the same.
I think it's funny though, because see, if you have so many and they're all for different things, I think we were talking about this because you've kind of fallen into the influencer bracket a little bit now, and you're doing the music stuff as well. Like, see, if you had different pages, a lot of people has taught me how kind of stupid the general public can be at times. Where, you know, you can have this is this page for this, and they will still message the influencer page for, can you sing at this? And you're like, it's not that page.
No, I just like, I do not have the patience to have like 20 different pages for content creating, singing, chatting rubbish, because that's what
people
I tend to do on
don't
TikTok
tag
most of
the
the
right things. Like, say you go and sing at an event, they might tag your influencer page, and you're like, what relevance is that got? You know what I mean?
Like I've got like my personal page on Facebook, but then people do still tag that. And I'm like,
you
no,
get
don't tag that.
on that, and you're like,
people
this
keep
isn't
adding
the
me,
place.
and I'm like, I don't want you to tag me on here. Like, this is where I post all the pictures of my kids and everything. Like, I don't want you seeing all that if I don't know you. So I try and keep. I've just realised that says Jobby. Did you notice that?
No, I did not. I've had 10 episodes of this, and I never.
The microphone stand say Jobby. There you go.
Nice one, yeah.
Sorry, I get very easily distracted. I'm like a goldfish. What are we talking? All I can see now is Jobby. All I keep thinking about is Jobby. yeah, social media. Anyway, enough of the jobbies. So yeah, I don't have the patience to have like loads of different pages, and I do try, and I think I could probably build my following more on like the TikTok if I was more niche. Like if I was just like, this is my page and I just sing on this page all the time, or this is my page and I just do food reviews all the time.
I don't know, because TikTok seems to like organic content more. Like,
Yeah.
so if you sit and talk to the camera, you'll probably get more views than if you do a gig.
Yeah, it's so true. Like some of my singing videos have like done really, really well. But it seems to be like my food reviews and stuff that go really well just now, or like when I'm just talking.
What made you start
rubbish.
doing that? Was it?
I like food.
Right, fair enough. Yeah.
Do you know what it was? I just like, I think it was more of a kind of, by doing this, I can help other brands and businesses by promoting them. But then it's also getting my own name out there as well, because if that video is doing really well, then people go, oh, what's her account? Click on it. Oh, she sings. Like,
yeah, I think it is a testament to like, you don't just have to do one thing in life.
Yeah.
I think people like base their identity very much in, you know, if you're a teacher, I'm a teacher and that's
Yeah.
all I do. Or if I'm a lawyer, if that's what I do.
Yeah.
Fair enough, maybe that's not the best example, but creatively speaking, I think there's a lot of play room to just,
yeah.
that's why it's creative.
Oh,
you know, to jump
I
into
do a
this.
bit of everything. Like, and people are like, so do you just sing? And I'm like, well, no, I kind of do everything. I do this, I do radio presenting, I do hosting, I do TikTok stuff, and just do a bit of everything.
But that's the thing, you just have to like to have fun in life. And I think if you do the same thing all the time, you would just get bored.
Yeah.
So like when you're trying things like your food review things, and I'm trying this podcast,
Yeah,
you know, it's
exactly.
like you just have to, that's what keeps life fun.
Yeah.
It keeps life stimulated, you know.
Definitely, 100%. No, I'm glad you're doing this. I'm proud of you.
Well, I'm glad that you got on this. I'm glad that you were able to make it.
I know, I'm
That's
glad
the
I'm
best
as
thing.
well, and I will come back anytime
Of course.
to answer all of the questions that we haven't actually answered.
It is what it is, but it's room
No,
for
it's-
repetition. Do you know, I realised in here as well, very late on, that you could actually have multiple people in at once. So like,
Yeah.
I might get you back for something where I get like a
Yeah,
group
no, that would
session.
be good.
Don't know who I would get. I've not planned anything for the next season yet.
That would
but,
be
like,
good. Get like loads of different personalities in the one room.
Right, debate this topic or something like that.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. Everyone just starts scrapping.
Yeah, that'd be fun. But thank you so much.
Thank
It's
you
been
so much
fun.
for having me.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
That was class.
That was good. I enjoyed that.
I don't think I asked anything on here. But that's the thing, like, they're there if you need them.
It's- I think it is good to have questions prepped, so it gives you like just kind of pointers, but then it is good when the conversation just starts.
One of the things that I
flowing.
wanted this, but I just couldn't make it organic, or I
Mhm.
felt like was what advice would you give to aspiring female singers? I'm like, I should have asked that, but like, you know what?
Why don't you just do it and edit it in?
No.
No?
No, could have.
You could just do it as like an end question, like,
if
if anybody wants to get in this industry,
Okay,
like-
right. I'll do that. Okay, so
and then if it sounds rubbish, just edit it out. Like if it doesn't work.
I might do it like for a clip that's not actually in the conversation,
Yeah.
and then people might be like, "Was it in the conversation?" Like mess with
Yeah.
people that way. Okay, right. I'll ask that question and then
Okay.
just edit it out. Okay, 3, 2, 1. So, one of the last questions I want to ask is, what advice would you give to aspiring female singers?
So much advice. But I think one of the main things would be to trust your talent and believe in yourself. Like if you genuinely feel like you have something to give, that you have a genuine talent, believe in yourself and don't give up easily, because this industry is a graft. Like I think there's a lot of people think, oh, you just turn up and sing a few songs. Like no, it is hard. You can be faced with loads of negativity from family and friends. You can be faced with loads of negativity. You can be faced with negativity from people in the industry. You know, there's a lot of rejection in the industry as well, and it can be really, really off-putting. It's quite easy to go, that's hurt my feelings. I can't do this anymore. I'm going to give up. Like, do not give up if this is what you want to do. And if you go into it with something unique, and I think that's the best thing to do. Don't follow the crowd. Don't be a sheep and copy everybody else. Find your niche. Find what you're good at, what's unique to you, and roll with it. And if people turn around and say to you, that's not going to work, like people aren't going to like that, don't believe them. Trust in yourself and believe in yourself. I can remember when I first started doing like the Clubland tributes and like the dance anthem stuff, and I was with quite a few agencies at the time, and we went to the agencies with this, and they were like, that's not going to work, we're not putting that on the books, we're not advertising that. And then I left the agencies, done it myself, and now everybody's doing it. And I can almost guarantee you, more or less, all those agencies now have an act doing like the dance stuff on their books. So it's a case of trust your instincts, believe in yourself, and don't give up on it too easily. Also, as well, look after yourself and look after your voice. Like, when you first start out, a lot of venues kind of try and take the mickey a wee bit, and they want you to do like hours and hours of singing for very little money, which when you're first starting out, you want to get your name out there. You take on everything that you can just to get your name out there and get the experience, which is fine, but that's not sustainable. Do you know what I mean? Your voice is such a delicate instrument. It is your instrument. And whereas if you break your guitar strings, you go buy some new ones. If you damage your voice, it can be really, really hard to come back from. And it might take a while for that to happen. I kind of learned that the hard way. But once you do overdo it, it can be really hard to come back from. And now, like nowadays, I'm very, very strict in how much I will sing and how much I will charge. When I was younger and first starting out, again, I was doing hours and hours for very little money, taking everything I could get. And now I think sometimes it seems like I'm coming across as a diva, like, no, I don't do that many sets, I'll do this many sets, like this is what I do. But it's not because I want to be a diva, it's because I want to look after my voice and I want to look after myself and my mental health. And I know that I'm doing the right thing for me. So I think you've just got to just trust yourself and believe in yourself and remember that not everybody in the industry has your best interest at heart.
Yeah, I think it's also really hard when you're a teenager because that's when the kind of opposing negative energy is at its strongest.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, you have no life experience at that point in time. You're surrounded by the kind of like popular kids, you know, and I think for a guy, it's a case of if you can't play football, you can't really fight, you're not a gym person, then you're kind of cast. And I think for a girl, it's like if you're not one of the pretty ones and the mean girl, like you're kind of. And I think even teachers at that point in time, you know, you might be surrounded by certain teachers that are like, oh, I didn't have math shots, so you're not allowed yours. There's so much you have to push through. I think teenage years can be probably the hardest of your life because you really have to break through those doors to 100%. Get to your 20s. And
even in the industry, being in your teens is hard. Like, so many people won't give you the time of day. Like, no. Like, there were so many people when I was younger. And I think it's the whole competition thing. Like, a lot of people don't like to see young people that have a lot of promise and a lot of talent breaking through because it's like their competition kind of thing. Don't get me wrong, like, I have a few singers that I'm still really good friends with now that have supported me the whole way through. And I try to be the same, like, with young singers. My dad especially, like, you know what my dad's like? My dad's just a total saint in this industry, just wants to help people. But a lot of people, they might come across as having your best interest at heart, but they don't.
And
like,
I don't think there's a clear fire way to really tell. You just have to take the chance.
Totally,
it's like
100%.
When you trust someone, it's an act of courage now. Like, because I think when you trust when you're a teenager, it's because you're naive and you think everyone's there for you. But I think at this age, it's an act of courage because you know full well that you might get attached or whatever, and they can hurt you.
100%.
You know,
there's been people, especially when I was younger, that fucked me right over. Whereas now I'm a lot more wary, and it's a shame that you have to be like that. Like, you don't want
people aren't always honest
to feel like that, but I'm very, very wary.
Yeah, there's a balance between being wary and jaded, isn't there? And that's the thing. You just have to rely on the people around you that you care about to keep you right.
100%. Find the people that do have your best interests at heart and want to help you, and just be aware that not everybody in this industry does have your best interests at heart. But believe in yourself's the main thing, I would say. Like, don't take on the criticism, don't take on the negativity, and it can be really hard not to do that because it does affect you mentally. But if you genuinely believe that you have a talent and that you have something to bring, go with it.
Yeah, well, Dionne, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.